Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beats, here with my co-host, as always, Chilltown 32. Unc, what's popping?
Ain't nothing, man. We got a good show today, man. We got a real good show today.
Yeah, we got a real good show. Real good
Mm-hmm.
show. Pack. I won't call it pack. It's kind of a light show, but it's barbershop talk, man. Y'all know it's Barbershop Friday. You know how we do on Fridays. We like to take it light, kick back with y'all, interact with y'all more. I don't know what the hell going on with the chat. The chat ain't coming on for some strange reason. I don't know what the hell going on. The chat ain't popping up, but, we'll figure that out. Maybe while we segue and we might get that going, but I'm glad to see y'all in here. Ball Red is in here. Couple of new cats in here. Big time Chris, early gang. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate y'all showing up. Y'all always here in time to show love every Tuesday and Friday, 8 p.m. I'm glad y'all spending y'all Friday nights with us. We really appreciate that, man. And me and Unc, y'all don't know how much that means to us for y'all to be here for y'all Friday night spending it with us. First time chatter. ISO the Don, what's popping, man? How you feeling? Cam 2K, that's a regular.
Mm-hmm.
That's a regular right
Cam
there.
Over's in the house. That's
I'm thinking
my man
about making
right there.
Cam a moderator, man. If you're joining us from YouTube, if you're joining us from from Twitch, if you're here from TikTok, we appreciate all of you. We love all of you. We glad you guys love tuning in. But today, like I told y'all, it's Barbershop Fridays, man. We just kick back. We let it do what it do. We got a lot of basketball. So if you looking for some football, I apologize in advance. Because I did not put any football on this docu. It wasn't even on purpose. It's just how it planned out to be. Unc love him some basketball, so that's what the hell we going to talk about. We got some Steph Curry. We got some top 5 best single seasons in NBA history. My opinion, his opinion. That should be spicy. But we going to basically kick the show off with this. Stephen Curry, right? Stephen Curry is widely, universally known, consensusly known as the greatest shooter of all time. By now, that shouldn't be a question, right? He's about to pass Ray Allen for most three-pointers of all time. I give him maybe another month or so before he has this feat. And once he accomplishes that, there is no looking back for Stephen Curry, right? But I got a legit, hypothetical, but it's a legit question for not only Chill, but also for y'all in the chat, man. All of y'all that's in the chat that's watching this show right now, I want y'all to participate in this. I got to get this chat working. Maybe when I segue to Unc, I might figure out a way to get this chat up and bumping. But this is the legit question. We all know Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter to ever play this game. But we've also had some other great all-time great shooters to play this game as well. What if we took every great shooter, not only statistically, but just guys that was known to shoot the cover off the ball? Craig Hodges, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Dan Marley, John Stockton, Steve Nash, Gilbert Arenas, James Harden, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Kenny Smith. What if we took all of these guys and put them in today's era? Put them all in one era. Would Stephen Curry still be considered the greatest shooter of all time, or would it be close? Or what is your opinion on that, Unc? What do you think would happen?
Well, when we talk about Steph, the first thing we say is shooter, and that shooter is the long ball shooter. So when I think about a long ball shooter, the best shooters ever. So James Harden, right? Klay Thompson, Ray Allen.
Joe Harris,
Just
that's
those,
another one. Cal Korver, I didn't mention. Guys, I
right?
didn't mention that they mentioned it. Let me try to get this
But
chat up. I'm mad about this.
just those 3 guys alone, right? Just those 3 guys alone. Klay, James Harden, and Ray Allen have at least 4 200 long ball seasons. At least 4 of them. Ray Allen got 4, James Harden got 6, and Klay Thompson got 7. 200 3-pointers minimum for a season. He got 7 of them. Steph got 8. So that's almost a decade of shooting the long ball at a high rate. So we talking about a dude who At minimum, I'm shooting 200 long balls. I'm cashing 200 long balls for 8 straight years. Nobody else can say that they're doing that. Now, the next question I needed to ask was, well, how are we doing this? We bringing all of these guys into this era? Are we going to play in the 90s with the big
No,
man?
we
Are we going to
bringing
play in
all
this
these
era?
guys into today's era. We bringing every
So if we
single one of them in
so
today's era.
so if we bringing Reggie Miller into this era, we bringing Kyle Korver into this era. We bringing Dale Ellis, Tim Legler, Steve Kerr,
All of them.
Steve Nash. We bringing all of these dudes. I still think that Steph Curry is going to be the best shooter. Now, I think that it's going to be some guys that's going to give him a run for his money. I think Reggie Miller going to give him a run for his money. I think Ray Allen is going to give him a run for his money. I think Tim Legler is going to give him a run for his money. Even though I think Tim Legler was a flash in the pan, I think he'll give him a run for his money. But for the most part, I've never seen anybody who can shoot the basketball, who can shoot the basketball off the bounce the way he does. There is no defense for what he does. Reggie Miller's not that good off the bounce. Ray Allen is not that good off the bounce. Clay is not that good off the bounce. James Harden is not that good off the bounce from that distance.
I
Trey
think
Young,
that's
none
the
of these
biggest
dudes.
discrepancy, to be real talk with you. The way you put it like that, I think that's the biggest issue, the biggest hang up. I think a lot of people undermine the fact of the skill set that it takes to put the ball on the deck the way that Steph Curry does, not only to shoot the cover off the ball. People just say, oh, he's the greatest shooter. You know, whatever the case may be. Oh, he's the greatest shooter. Yeah, he's the greatest shooter. But I don't think anybody could put the ball on the deck the way that he does. And I think that's what kind of separates him from all the other former greats that can shoot the cover off the ball as well.
Absolutely. And not just shoot the cover off the ball from that distance. I mean, there's no defense for a guy who can accurately shoot the ball off the bounce from 25 feet. There's no defense for him. Because I can't crowd you, because if I crowd you, you're going to blow my doors off.
Right.
But I can't give you too much room because you're going to splash on me.
Exactly.
And that's the difference with Steph. So there is his long ball is something that is just that's not even part of the scouting report. We just have to eat whatever production that he gives us because there is no defense for what he does. And I think that if he played with all the greatest long ball shooters, because Steve Kerr couldn't shoot off the bounce like that. Craig Hodges didn't shoot off the bounce like that. Tim Legler, Kyle Korver, Dale Ellis. And Dale Ellis was an awesome long ball shooter. Bird was an awesome long ball shooter. None of these dudes could shoot the basketball off the bounce from that distance. And not just from that distance, they couldn't shoot it in traffic like Steph Curry can. Because Steph Curry doesn't just need room. He can actually shoot in traffic as well. So I can honestly say that I'm looking at a dude. I can honestly say that I'm looking at a guy who, in terms of a long ball shooter, I've never seen anything like him. And the question was asked, who is the next guy to take the throne or dethrone Steph Curry? And I don't think we've met him yet. Because when I think about when Reggie Miller broke the record for when Reggie Miller broke the record for the most long balls, and then Ray Allen came right behind him, those guys were close during their career. The difference is nobody is close to Steph. Nobody. Klay Thompson isn't close to Steph, and James Harden isn't close to Steph. None of these guys are close to him. So because none of these guys are close to him, Steph will be 34 in March. That's in 6 months. So he's still in his prime. So I think Steph got another maybe 2 or 3 more years at this level doing this.
That's what's scary. That's what makes it scary. But if we put this in the context, right, we talking about long ball shooters. Now, we just emphasized, by the way, we got the chat going. Unc held it down while I can get that going. Appreciate you, Unc. But if we talking about long ball shooters, these guys that I just mentioned, none of these guys, like you say, can put the ball on the deck like Stephen Curry. And that's what separates him, even if you put them all in the same era. That's what separates Steph Curry from any other guy that can shoot the ball. All of these guys can shoot well. But Steve Nash, I think, is an exception to what we talking about here. And here's why. Hear me out on this.
I'm listening.
Nash said in an interview recently, maybe about 6-7 months, maybe not even that long ago, about 6 months ago, somebody interviewed him, and he basically said, I played the game the way the game was supposed to be played as a true prototypical point guard. I was a pass-first guy that got my teammates involved. Now, Steve Nash never shot over 2 threes a game. That's attempts, not makes. He never shot over 2 threes a game. But when he did decide to shoot the three, he shot it at 42% from the field, from the distance. So if Steve Nash was shooting it at 42%, that is Steph-esque. He's shooting it at 42% when he decides to take that shot. Imagine if you said, okay, Steve, we're going to allow you to shoot 13 threes for the next 82 games to start this season. Because that's what Steph's averaging right now. 13 attempts a night. Last year he averaged 12.5 attempts a night. Steph gets him up, but he also he's shooting it at 41%. Nash was shooting it at 42%. Nash is also a guy that can get it off the dribble. Maybe not from the distance that Curry can, and that's another notch for why he's the greatest to ever do it. Maybe not only from the distance, but with such regularity from that distance, because Gilbert Arenas can shoot it from distance. Dan Marley can shoot it from distance. Ray Allen can shoot a 27-foot three. Damian Lillard can shoot it from 30. But the question is, can you shoot it with such regularity and efficiency to where it's not a bad shot? Because if you're shooting that shot with regularity, but you're only hitting it at 29%, just because you can hit that shot, I would advise against that, especially if I'm a head coach. That's why guys were not able to take that shot in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, simply because it's a bad shot statistically. Analytically, it's a terrible shot. But that's one of the ways that Stephen Curry has revolutionized this game of basketball and made it so even if you're a big man, you better start working on your jumper or you're going to find your way outside of this rotation.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to shoot the ball.
And let me ask you this question. Do you feel like you shortchanging Steve Nash? You are aware that Steve Nash is basically 1% away from being 50, 40, 90 for his career.
Oh, I'm definitely.
That's who Steve Nash is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's why I brought him up as a rare exception to this question, because I honestly believe Steve Nash at, what is he, 12, 13 points a game for his career? I honestly believe if Steve Nash had a Stephen Curry green light to shoot whatever shot he wanted to shoot on the court, 13 attempts from behind the arc, I'm not saying that he would hit 42% of them, but I got a lot of faith that he probably could hit 39%.
Well,
and
here's
if
the
Steve
thing that
Nash is hitting 39% of 13 attempts from three, he's averaging 20 to 23 points easily.
Well, that's the thing that gets left behind. That's the thing that gets left behind, Beast. When we talk about Steve Nash, we talk about Steph Curry changing the game. He didn't really change it more than he enhanced it, because let's make sure that we clear about what Phoenix was doing in the 2000s. They were the Warriors with that 7 seconds or less offense. Yeah. Only except Bob Myers, he saw what the Phoenix Suns was doing, and he looked at Steph Curry and he looked at Klay Thompson. Even though Monte Ellis was on that crew, he looked at Klay Thompson and he looked at Steph Curry and he goes, yo, this is the future of basketball right here. Yeah. This right here is the future of basketball. Steve Nash being able to shoot the long ball was never the question. That offense that they was in was very much like what the Golden State Warriors are doing today. It was fast, it was fast, it was up-paced, and it was moving the basketball, but we weren't wasting a lot of time. We were getting up a lot. They were getting up a lot of shots. So I'm pretty sure, and Steve Nash got a lot of shots, not just within the offense. He took a lot of good shots. Yeah. Steph shoots a lot of shots that he can make, but they're not necessarily good shots.
Right.
They're shots that he can make. Yeah. And a lot of people see that and they think that, well, he can shoot that, I can shoot that too. When in reality, nah, my man, that's not a good shot. That's not a good shot for you.
Right.
That's a good shot for him. Not necessarily you, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you consistently getting, teams have been shooting threes even before Stephen Curry, quote-unquote, changed the game, which I think he did. Not only revolutionized the position like a Dirk Nowitzki, like a Kevin Garnett, made power forwards more untraditional, smaller guys, more athletic guys that can stretch the floor out, shoot the long ball, and the midi. It used to be two big 7-foot behemoths in the paint clogging the area, right? Yep. But then you had guys like Dirk, guys like KG that came into the game, guys like Daniel Marshall who stretched four guys, Sam Perkins, if you want to take it back further than that. Perkins was more of a 5, but he was really like the first guy I can think of off the top of my head that was a big
Andre
man.
Karolinko, Andre
Yeah.
Karolinko,
I'm talking
guys
even
like that.
even before that time.
Okay,
Sam
okay,
Perkins is really the first guy I can think of that really stretched the floor as a big man. Was the first guy
big.
as a
Yeah.
kid that I saw like, damn, he's 7 feet tall and he's shooting threes. You know what I mean? Like, so then the game continued to progress from there. But that's positional revolutionization. This is league wide. Stephen Curry changed the entire way the game is played in 2015 when he decided to attempt more threes than twos and make them at an efficient clip. That's when the game started to deter. Teams were shooting threes. That's not the issue. But when Curry decided to be the first player in NBA history to attempt more threes than twos as a superstar, that's when teams started to open their eyes and say, okay, these guys are
Well,
on to something. But I got a question to segue off of that, though. Because of that, back in the 90s when I was growing up, guys were Jordan. Everybody wanted to play above the rim. Everybody wanted to get to the basket. Then in the 2000s, everybody wanted to shoot the mid-range. Now in the 2010s, everybody wants to shoot the three. And coaches, AAU coaches and young coaches, high school coaches, are thinking that because of Stephen Curry, he may be ruining the up-and-coming talent from these kids because what they see is what they're going to want to emulate. What do you think about that? Do you think because Steph Curry is shooting, quote-unquote, bad shots, 30-footers, bad form, shooting the ball, turning around, he's very, very braggadocious. You think that's ruining the up-and-coming generation?
let me ask you this, nephew, because you, Beast, being a football guy, what is the NFL in terms of winning?
As far as what?
If we win the Super Bowl, what happens in the NFL? Everybody else does what?
Parade.
It's a copycat league.
Oh, yeah. They want to know what you did. That's what happened to
Absolutely.
Patrick Mahomes.
That's immediately what they do. And you're a football guy. You can appreciate this.
Oh,
If
yeah.
we winning, running the football, that's what so we got to get that.
Yeah.
That's what we need in order to win.
In football, though,
this
it's more so based on individuals. Like, especially if it's somebody that can't be stopped or usually has been hot. What did that team do to shut them down? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's what happened to Patrick Mahomes. Once people started to figure out that, hey, these guys are only sending 4, they running the cover 2 shell, Tampa Bay, they completely exposed what they did. That's why they struggled to start the season.
Right.
Teams were coming out rushing 4, running cover 2 shell, everything cheap,
Right.
nothing deep against Kansas City, and it works.
Absolutely. So this Steph Curry thing, in terms of him ruining the game, this doesn't work and this doesn't translate if they don't win. If he's just shooting the long ball, if Clay is just shooting the long ball and it's efficient, but it's not translating into anything, nobody is gonna buy into that because that was the logic with these guys years ago. Well, a jump shooting team can't win.
Right.
Because the game was translating. The game was translating from. It was transferring from a big man league to now a jump shooting league. So now we got these two guys, which, like I just said, Bob Myers. He saw the future in Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. We could win with these two with what they do. We weren't buying it. I know I was one of those guys who was not buying it. I don't think that a jump shooting team can win the NBA championship. Only except I was wrong.
Yeah.
So when they start rolling like they rolling. It doesn't hurt that Steph looks like the average man. Steph
Right.
ain't 6'9", he ain't 6'10", running around with a 16 shoe.
He all of
Steph
6'2", a $150
Right.
soaking wet. You know what I'm
right. Steph
saying?
looked like the everyday man. So you got a lot of people saying to themselves, "Well, I can do that." He don't look like LeBron James. Where when you see LeBron, and you thinking, "I can't do that." You see Jordan or Brian or Shaq, you're like, "I can't do that." But when you see Steph Curry, well, if this dude can shoot from 30 feet, this dude can shoot from 25 feet, I can do that too. Only problem is that they think that that's all the game is, and you kind of throw out the rest of the stuff, like being able to handle the basketball.
That's why I asked you. You
being
think
able-
he's ruining the youth with this?
Yeah, well, it does. It does have something to do with it, Beast, because they see is just shooting the long ball. Well, now I need to be able to make good decisions with the basketball, and that might not be a good decision for me to shoot a 28-footer with nobody on me. That might not be a good decision, even if I made one. That might not be a good decision for my game. So I still need to learn how to handle the basketball, and I need to learn how to pass the basketball, and I need to learn how to play within the offense as opposed to as soon as I get it, I'm jacking it up. Well, no, that's not necessarily basketball.
And it's
That's
just
how that works.
crazy to think about that, because it's like I remember coming up. I'm 4 or 5 years old. My mother's talking about Magic Johnson. My grandfather's ranting and raving. They love them some Magic, whatever the case may be. And it's like, oh, I want to pass like Magic. Then it went from that to I want to jump like Mike. Then it went from that to, because even when I was in high school, I wanted to dunk the ball. So
Right.
me and my boy, we would wear ankle weights. Shout out to Chris Walker. We would wear ankle weights. We had the same name. Yeah, it's crazy. But we would wear ankle weights and walk around until we developed enough strength. We did some research. There wasn't no internet or nothing like that back then. So we would read books and do some research on, how to jump higher and where it comes from. Everybody wanted to jump higher and be more athletic. So like you say, you see a LeBron James at 6'8", 200-something pounds, and it's like, I can't do that. So you got to work extra hard to try to attempt to be athletic. And the guy that can do that in the gym was looked at as one of those guys. Then you get the 2000s and you get to the Allen Iverson crossovers and the Jason Williams, passes. And the and one was hot in the early 2000s, and everybody wanted to handle the ball and everybody wanted to dribble handles for days on Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it graduated to. Then it went from that to the mid-range game, the Kobe, all of that. Then from that to what you see today with Steph and Curry. So it's like, at least we know that the game is headed in some direction, and it's not in the same place that it was 10 years ago that I can look at and be proud of as a basketball fan. So, if not anything, at least we know the game is headed in a direction. It may not be the direction everybody wants it to be headed, but hey, when guys was dunking the ball back in the 90s and the 2000s, it was a special thing to look at. Now, these young cats is coming up, and a lot of them is able to shoot the cover off the ball. Look Trae Young, for example. He's coming up. He's shooting it. Steph Curry opened it up for Damian Lillard. He's shooting 30-foot jump shots. A lot of these guys is doing it. So it's like, what can I say about it? But
Well, how good for the game is that, though?
I don't
How
know.
good for,
I really
how good
I
for the
can't
game is
answer
that?
my own question because the reason why I decided to emphasize on how the game transitioned by decade was some of it was bad, some of it was good. Like I mentioned, my grandpops, my mom, they talk about Magic. Magic had the dimes. So how would that affect these kids out here? All of us wanted to go outside and throw no-look passes. Was that proper way to pass the ball? No, but we saw Magic do it, so we wanted to do it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like Jordan, you can't dunk. I want to try to dunk the ball on the fast break, knowing I can't dunk, but I'm going to try to leap. I'm going to try to jump from the free throw line, knowing I ain't going to make it, but I'm going to try it anyway. Was that good? Who knows? Guys in the 2000s saw Allen Iverson and dribbling the ball, the air out the ball, boom, boom, boom. So everybody did what within the and one? We saw Hot Sauce, we saw Spider, half man, half amazing. We saw all of these guys escalate. We saw them dribbling the ball, dribbling the air out the ball for White Chocolate for 50, 60 seconds on a possession when it's only a 24-second shot clock. But they dribbling the ball. So what did we do? We went outside, and instead of passing it, ball rotation, player movement, one guy was standing in one spot, dribbling, trying to cross over his. So every element of the game, as it's progressed throughout the years, we could look at it and say, that wasn't too good for the game. It's just now we've embarked on a new one, and that's shooting the long ball. Now, half of these kids can't shoot it like Curry, but they going to get their ass out there and try. Because I know when I was young, I tried. You know
I ain't
what
gonna
I'm
fight
saying?
that.
So
I will. I won't fight that.
yeah,
Nah.
so I mean, you really can't argue with that. But we got a lot to get into today. That was an interesting topic. I figured that'd be a good one to discuss. Shout out to Steph Curry, man. That's my favorite player in the league right now. But we got something that I always pondered, right, as an NBA fan, something that I always pondered, and that was who had the greatest single season of all time. Now, we got a lot of great single seasons, right? I'm not going to name them because I don't want to step on nobody's toes because I'm kind of interested to see what 5 Unc came up with, right? So we're going to do top 5. I want 5 first, 1 as the greatest. 5 is not worst, but 5 is the least greatest. Number 1, of course, is the greatest single season of all time, in your opinion. Give it to me from 4 to 1.
Well, so we'll start. I got an honorable mention. And
Here we go with the honorables.
I do have an honorable mention, but I'm gonna leave that out. I'm gonna start with number 5.
There
My
you
number
go.
5 is I'm gonna start with number 5. My number 5 is the Diesel in the 99-2000 season. Shaq led the league in scoring.
5?
He was third in the league in rebounding. He was third in the league in rebounding. He was second in the league, third in the league in blocks. Averaged almost 4 assists. He missed being the unanimous league MVP by 1 vote.
And he's holding that grudge with that guy, too. He knows exactly who it is.
Absolutely. He missed being unanimous. The Lakers won 67 games that year, and it was no question that the Diesel was the best player in the game, and it wasn't a question. Absolutely not.
No doubt.
Number 4, and I got such a huge problem with this, but number 4 would be Steph Curry in that 15-16 season. And the reason why I'm going with Steph Curry in that 15-16 season, he went 50, 40, 90. That was the only year he shot 50% from the floor. He never shot 50% again. That was the only season he shot 50% from the floor. Cast over 400 threes. There's a reason why they won 73 games. Him and Klay Thompson made almost 700 threes between the both of them.
Yeah.
That's incredible that them two dudes did that. So there's a reason why Steph Curry was the
He shot more threes than twos that year, too.
I had a problem with him being a unanimous MVP, but I understood it.
Didn't.
All right, they understood. They won 73 games, and he led the league in scoring that year. So I could appreciate it. But number 3 would be James in the 12-13 season.
Okay,
absolutely. I got to go with James in the 12-13 season. James, he went 27, 8 and 7. My man shot 56% from the floor and 40 on the long ball. All right,
that's
not
the
only
most
that,
impressive one. 40 on the long ball.
Shot 40 on the long ball. He had a 32. I think it's a 32 win rating. That's number 1 all time. Can't nobody else say that. Nobody in the history of the game can say that they had more win shares than LeBron James did that year. Nobody had more win shares than James did that year. 32. No question about it. But the number 2, I got to go with Jordan in the 87-88 season.
Yeah, I thought you was going to pick 91.
No. I got to go with Jordan in the 87-88 season. He was incredible,
I
man.
thought you was going to pick 91.
Nah, he was incredible, man. This dude went 35, 6 and 6. He had 200 steals.
Talk about it.
He had 100 blocks. Not only was he the best offensive player in the game, he was the best defensive player in the game. All right? He had a 6 defensive win share that year. That's only behind Olajuwon and James. That's only behind Olajuwon. That's it. Nobody else had a higher win share than him on this list. So, Jordan was incredible that year, man. He was the defensive, because the reason why I have to put him over Giannis and over the reason why I have to put him over Giannis was because, number 1, he had a higher defensive win share than Giannis did. Not only did he have a higher win share than Giannis did, he led the league in scoring that year too.
And it's crazy because Giannis had an amazing season.
I'm undoubtedly the best offensive player and the best defensive player in the game. No question about it.
I love it.
And the number 1, and I'm a little biased, but the number 1 has to be for me that Chamberlain. He went 50 and 26.
You put that in there as your number 1. That's spicy.
50 and 26.
You know.
It was tied. I had either him or Olajuwon in the 93-94 season. And the reason why I had Olajuwon, because all these guys, Olajuwon, Jordan, all of these guys, they won.
Yeah.
Or they at least went far. But him, Chamberlain, Beast, we talking about a dude who went 50 and 26. Not only did he go 50 and 26, he averaged 48 minutes a game. He didn't
only my chin. That's how close I was to putting that man on this list. That season. The only reason why he didn't play every minute of every game that season, he got thrown out of a game with 7 minutes left for arguing with the refs. Otherwise, he averaged more minutes played than actual minutes in the game.
48 and a half minutes per game that season.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He went 50 points, 26 boards,
Here's why
led
I
the league.
didn't. You want me to tell you why?
I'm interested to hear this.
I want to know. This is why I didn't put him on there. At the end of the day, I'm looking at the guys that I got on the list, which honestly is the same exact guys you have on the list, with the exception, obviously, of Wilt Chamberlain. I put Hakeem. I'm sorry. The reason why he didn't make the cut was not only that he didn't win, but he also didn't get the MVP. All of these guys on this list won the MVP the year that I'm putting them on this list.
That's why I was going with Olajuwon. That's why I was going with Olajuwon as number one. It was Olajuwon and it was Chamberlain.
I
thinking to
wanted
myself,
to put Wilt on there so
like,
bad, but if I would have put Wilt, he would have been 5, simply because he didn't win and he didn't get the MVP. So for you to put him, that's why I'm saying you put him 1. It's like,
retracting my statement. Olajuwon go to 1. He got to come on. even though he went 50 and 26. Yeah. Olajuwon, stop playing, man. Olajuwon that year, it was incredible. He had an 8 defensive win share. Okay,
Olajuwon was
because like I said, I was on the fence.
Yeah.
I was on the fence about it between him and Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But he had an 8 win share. He went 27 and 11. He averaged almost 4 blocks a game. He averaged 3 blocks a game. He was the defensive player of the year, 27 and 11.
How could you deny that? You know what I mean?
Not only that, they started the season, Beast, the Houston Rockets in 93-94. They was 22 and 1 at one point. They was 22 and 1 at one point. 22 and 1. So at Chamberlain 50 and 26.
He's the most beneficiary partner of the absence of Michael Jordan, boy. I tell you, did nobody benefit from the absence of Jordan more than Hakeem Olajuwon. But that Wilt Chamberlain season, I wanted to put it in there so bad, but I'm thinking of it. I'm like, 62 was an amazing year for NBA. Elgin Baylor averaged like 40. Wilt Chamberlain averaged like 50 and 25. Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double that year. Bill Russell averaged 18 and 23. You know, it was an amazing year of basketball. I'm pretty sure them guys was entertained watching all of that shit, that back and forth. That was the fastest the game ever was. That's why it was so many rebounds, so many points being scored by so many guys, because the time of possession, man, in 1960, the early 60s, the mid to early 60s, it was back and forth. It's the fastest the league has ever been. People think it's fast-paced now. It's nothing close.
It wasn't close.
It's
the
nothing.
Pace back then, it wasn't even close.
It was crazy fast. Like, guys were afraid of the shot clock fast. Like, when they came out with the shot clock, guys were getting the shot. You want to talk about 7 seconds or less, the gauge of time was off, so they was just trying to get the ball up as soon as possible. But to get into my top 5, like I say, we pretty much got the same guys. I got Bron in 2012, 27, 7-6, MVP, Finals MVP, his first championship, the redemption after losing to the Dallas Mavericks the previous season, him being called the choke artist, LeChoke, the whole 9. LeBron.
That was 2 years later. That was 2 years later. That was the 12-13 season.
Oh, 11-12 was when he lost. Or was that 10-11?
10-11.
Okay, so this
was that's when they got by your Bulls in 10-11 in the East Final.
Okay, so this is 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah,
we there though.
Yeah, LeBron was amazing. You know, he was a man amongst boys. I'd never forget that Miami Bron, man. Best Bron we ever seen, in my opinion. A lot of people tell you the second stint in Cleveland. I'm taking Miami Bron over anybody.
Yeah.
4, I got Hakeem. We talked about it. 94 Hakeem, 23 and 12, 58 win roster with me as his second option. I mean, literally, he dragged that's the definition of carrying a squad. You want to look at carrying a squad? Go look at that Houston Rockets 94 squad, that first squad that won that ring. That squad was garbage. It was trash. He literally carried that roster to a championship. So shout out to Hakeem the Dream. Man, like defensive player of the year, league MVP, led the league in blocks. He just a man amongst boys. Like, this got to be one of the greatest single seasons of all time. 3, 2016 Steph Curry. He would be higher if he would have won. But I feel like he had a great individual regular season. Not to say the playoffs wasn't okay. Could have been better. You know, because I feel like if Steph played better, They should have beat Cleveland that year. No doubt about it. I don't care about Draymond getting suspended. If Steph and Curry played better, they would have beat Cleveland.
It was up 3-1.
Had them
Y'all
up
had
3-1.
y'all had three
There's no
games. Y'all had
excuse for
three
that.
games to win one. So
There's
I'm
no
not listening to
excuses
that.
for that. I don't care
Yeah,
about
I'm not
Draymond
listening
Green.
to that.
But
I'm not.
50, 40, 90 while averaging 30. That's enough to lead the league that year. 50, 40, 90. That's very hard to do. Only like 10 guys in the history of the game have done that, right? On top of that, he led the league in steals. That's never been done. 50, 40, 90 led the league in steals. Unanimous MVP. This is one of the greatest single seasons of all time. No doubt about it. I wanted to put Russell Westbrook's triple-double season, but the shooting splits wasn't all that. Even though we like what we saw from Russ that year, the grit, the determination, the willpower. I think that was the last year that Russell Westbrook was really loved by the NBA community. That was probably the last season, his MVP season. And then people really started to see for what it was. You know, he did something that ain't been done in over 50 years. At 2, I got Shaq, 2000 Shaq, the greatest version of Shaq that you'll ever see. 29 and 13, 3 blocks a game, won every single award that the NBA has to offer. MVP, league MVP, All-Star game MVP. I mean, every MVP possible. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal was a legend, a god. He got challenged prior to this season by Phil Jackson to emulate his favorite player, which is Wilt Chamberlain. He said, I want to be better than Wilt. I want to be mentioned as the most dominant player of all time. So he got challenged by Phil Jackson that offseason. Shaq came in, the best shape he's ever been in, and it showed. You saw what type of dominance you got from Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know how old you guys are in here, but I watched it firsthand. Shaq was dominant. And ironically, this is the most minutes he's ever averaged in his entire career was in that season. And it showed. MVP, league MVP, All-Star game MVP, finals MVP. He dominated the entire game. He solidified himself as the greatest player in the world at that point. Nobody could touch him. And he physically carried the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe Bryant averaged like 13 a night in that finals. Nobody was close to Shaq. Shaq was averaging like 40 and 15 in that finals. He was amazing.
Yep.
Number 1.
13, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Number 1, 87-88 Jordan. The GOAT. The greatest to ever do it. First player in NBA history to lead the league in scoring and win Defensive Player of the Year. First player in NBA history, right? Man averaged, what did he average? 35 and 8 that year?
35 and 6.
35 and 6. Defensive Player of the Year. Led the league in scoring. Bulls had like 50-something wins, enough for third in the East. You know, we was rolling. And it was all because of number 23. And I'm trying to think.
Led the league in steals, too. Led the league in
steals.
Yes, sir.
First player in NBA history to do that. Lead the league in steals and average over 30-plus points a night. This man averaged 3.2 steals a night that year and averaged 35. Like, I don't know.
And a block, too. Don't leave that part out.
Yeah.
He averaged the block a game, too. So
because he had 100 of them.
When you talk about Jordan in the 87,
200 steals,
season,
100 blocks for the second season in a row.
I just remember being I remember being a kid and being flabbergasted by this dude. I just remember that season alone, even though I think the 88-89 season, which is the next season, I thought he had a better season that year than he did the 87-88 season.
That's when he was getting all them triple-doubles.
Yeah, I thought he had a better season. But I remember at that point, I remember seeing the 87-88 Jordan, and I just remember being incredibly amazed by this dude. I'm thinking, how could you be that good?
I wish I got to watch it.
I'm like, how could anybody be that good? And this is when the NBA was on CBS. It wasn't on ESPN. It wasn't on NBC. TNT, I'm watching this. Yeah, it wasn't on none of that. I'm watching Jordan put 59 on the Bad Boys. And I'm thinking, this guy is incredible. Meanwhile, he's scoring all of these points and shutting the door on Joe Dumars. Mm-hmm. Like, you got your work cut out for you tonight. And Isaiah Thomas looking at him like, yo, we got to deal with this dude.
And that's what makes it so special, because when you can do it on two ways, like just completely shutting cats down on one end. Like Hakeem. Mm-hmm. You know, Hakeem in the finals, who did they play? They played New York. Shut Patrick Ewing down. He shot like 35% from the field, averaged 18 points when Pat was giving you 24 a night in the regular season. But he came to see Hakeem, and he completely took him out of the game. That's why they got swept.
Nothing with him. Couldn't do nothing with him.
So
Nothing.
it's like, that's what it – Hakeem is probably the greatest two-way big man of all time. I don't think that's a probably. I just came up with that off the top of my head right now without even thinking about it. I just said it. And damn it, I think it's accurate. Hakeem Olajuwon is the greatest two-way center of all time.
Now we talking.
Sounds good.
Now we talking right here. Because when I said 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 5 months ago, when I said that Hakeem Olajuwon was a top 5, top 10 player, I got roasted.
I don't know.
I got destroyed. Hakeem Olajuwon ain't a top 10 player. And
you should have called me.
Oh, my God. I'm thinking to myself, have you seen Hakeem Olajuwon? Do you know how good this dude really is? This is not ridiculous. He's the only guy in NBA history to retire in the top 10 in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals. Not no big man. No other player in NBA history can say that they've ever done that.
LeBron
to see Olajuwon, what he did in that 93-94 season with that Houston team, which, by the way, Beast, I know that they didn't have any All-Stars, and you might think that they were garbage, but that team was together for a long time. They were together for a long time.
They had like 5 guys in double figures, but none of them was over like 13.
Yeah, they had Max, Kenny Smith.
Yeah.
Max, Kenny Smith.
I think they had Robert Horry on that roster.
Robert Horry was on that roster. Yeah. Otis Thorpe, that's who I'm thinking about. Otis Thorpe. And they were together for a lot of years, yo. Yeah. So for that team to do what they did and for Olajuwon to be the catalyst of that. No, he was gone.
Okay.
Sampson was already gone. But I have no problem with you having Olajuwon at the top of this list. I got no problem with it because what he did that season was incredible.
Yeah, definitely incredible. Hakeem Olajuwon is somebody that needs more credit. You know, I definitely got him in my top 10. If you out there creating top 10 lists for the NBA and you ain't got Hakeem Olajuwon in your top 10, damn it, I don't know what the hell you smoking. Cut it out. Hakeem Olajuwon is a top 10 player in NBA history, no doubt about it. I don't give a damn about no Kevin Durant. I don't give a damn about no Stephen Curry or anybody you trying to move him out for. Hakeem Olajuwon stays in your top 10. Do some research. The man was a dog on both ends of the court, and that's a rarity nowadays. I just said it. Greatest two-way big of all time. You think Anthony Davis is putting the clamps on folks? You ain't seen nothing till you go watch 34 play. Go cut the TV, go cut on some YouTube and go watch some clips of 34. You going to say, damn, he did that? Yeah, he was like that. And that's
only four men in the history of the game, 5 men in the history of the game have had quadruple doubles. Olajuwon did it twice.
I'm telling you.
I just want to put that out there, guys.
That's why, when I look at Embiid, I see a lot of Hakeem in him. It's just with Embiid shooting that long ball. But he's not as fierce a defender as Hakeem was. But I see offensively, I see his skill set in him, the up and unders, the footwork, everything. I see it in him. So I don't know. Maybe it could be the African thing, the Nigerian thing, but that's neither here nor there. But we're going to segue to something that's also spicy, something that's also that I look forward to hearing, right? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a difference between being the best and being your favorite. Please understand that. Because a lot of people hear people say things, and they automatically jump to conclusions. Oh, why did you take him over him? Why did you take this guy over that guy? Listen, you can't help who somebody's favorite is. It has nothing to do with who's better. Because right now we're about to discuss a starting 5, right? A starting 5 full of your favorite players from each position. Of course, we got point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, and we got a 6-man. Doesn't necessarily have to be a 6-man. Just has to be a guy that's coming off of your bench for your squad. Doesn't have to be a 6-man. If it was a 6-man, it works even better, but doesn't have to be that. I'll kick this one off, Unc.
I'm listening.
So we doing a lineup, to reiterate, right? A lineup full of your favorite players that you enjoyed watching.
Understand the difference. It's the difference between favorite and best.
Definitely. Please understand that.
It's not the same thing.
full of your favorite players, right? So at point guard, and I want the year too. I want the specific year you talking about with this player. Don't just give me the name of the player. I want the year you taking. At point
You
guard,
got one.
I got Baron Davis.
Ooh.
I want the early Baron Davis, the 02 Baron Davis. I want
Ooh.
Hornets Baron Davis, the one that was leaping up out the gym, crossing folks over. Baron Davis is my favorite point guard of all time. He gave you 23 and 7 that night, 2.5 steals a game. That was enough to lead the league. Baron Davis was a dog on both ends of the floor, and a lot of people think of him for that We Believe squad. When they think of Baron Davis, they think of that We Believe Baron Davis. I think of that Hornets Baron Davis, that Jamal Mashburn and Baron Davis backcourt. That's what I think about. You know what I'm saying? But
you being a Chicago dude, Dwayne Wade was asked, "Yo, who gave you the most trouble?" Baron Davis.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Facts.
He said Baron Davis.
Diddy was a problem, man.
He said Baron Davis gave him hell.
Yeah, Baron Davis was one of my favorite players of all time, no doubt. Shooting guard. What's understood don't have to be explained. Give me 88 Jordan. We just talked about this. We just talked. He's my favorite player of all time. We just talked about this.
That's fair.
At small forward, give me 01 Paul Pierce. 26 and 7, took that garbage ass team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Paul Pierce is, if you know me, you know 34 is coming up. He was my dude. You know, everybody give me flack for that. You know, I used to try to emulate his jump shot on the court. I wanted to shoot with that front foot forward like Paul. It was green light, man, and I was in love with the way he played the game. You know, that's probably why I like DeMar DeRozan so much, but we're going to get into that later on. At my power forward, it was a tough decision. I was thinking about going with Karl Malone because, funny story, I was going to school telling folks that Karl Malone was my favorite player in the league while Jordan was playing. So, honestly, that's how I'm from Chicago.
And it wasn't ridiculous to say that at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
That was not ridiculous to say that. Folks
was asking me in school, who was your favorite player? I was telling them Karl Malone. I swear to God. And it's crazy. I'm from Chicago. Ridiculous. Jordan is my heart, but I was in love with Karl Malone. I love the way he played the game. I was a bigger cat coming up. I wanted to play down on the block. I never was a guard type that liked to dribble. I was a guy that says, hey, give it here. Let me shoot this 15-footer, this fadeaway, this drop step. That's how I was coming up. So, you know, Karl Malone was my favorite player, but I didn't choose Karl Malone. I chose Dirk Nowitzki. 2011 Dirk. Let me get that Dirk with that chip on his shoulder. Let me get that Dirk that beat up on Bron and them. I need that guy. Let me get that Dirk who his second best scorer or player was Jason Terry, the guy who tattooed the championship trophy on his arm prior to winning it. That guy. Give me that Dirk. Yeah. That Dirk that had that historic playoff run.
He wanted all the smoke that year. He was like, bring them rules.
He had the Germinator had a chip on his shoulder. Took care of Portland in the first round. Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, them, Gerald Henderson and them, took them boys out just to swept the Lakers in the next round. Kobe and them, yeah, they got to go. Got him on up out of there.
Whoa. Don't just say the Lakers. We talking about the defending NBA champion Lakers.
Facts.
Okay, don't leave
back
that
to
out.
back.
Yeah.
Weren't they back to back? Yeah, back to back. Champion Lakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dirk did that. Swept them boys. Then he took care of business in the Western Conference Finals against the team that was just representing the Western Conference Finals in the finals the year prior to them. No. I'm a year ahead of them. They went to the finals the next year. So they took them out. Them young boys in OKC.
Yes, he did.
And he went and took care of business against Bron and them. That's my power forward. I need that. All of that.
I can get with that.
At center, if you know me, you know I love me some Shaquille O'Neal. I had to put the Diesel at center. That's arguably one of my favorite players of all time. Give me the Shaquille O'Neal from the year 2000 when he won every single award, every single trophy, every single thing. Kobe Bryant, you are a young one. Get the hell out of my way. I'm averaging 50 and 50 in the finals. That's what I do. Give me Shaquille O'Neal. And my sixth pan, give me MVP D Rose. I'm from Chicago. He from Chicago. Inglewood, Southside, stand up. Y'all already know what it is. If you're from out here, you know what it is. Derrick Rose is protected out here. We don't play that when it come to him. That's one of the cats that's the most protected cat. If it's somebody that's protected from out here, it's him. He's protected. So we don't play that. Give me MVP Rose coming off the bench.
I can get with that. All right. I could
What you
definitely get
got,
with that. At the one, I got 86, 87 Magic.
Okay.
That was the Magic who came into the season where Bird just won the league MVP the year before that. They had just won the NBA championship. You nice. You ain't that nice.
Nah.
You don't think so? You don't think I'm that good? Okay, we're gonna get to the bottom of that. 24-12, almost 90% from the stripe.
Mm-hmm.
Served the Celtics in the NBA championship. Solidified himself as the best player in the game. Bird said it in the interview.
Facts.
In the finals interview.
Greatest
He's the best that
player
I've ever seen.
Yep.
He's the best. Magic was my favorite. Absolutely. At the two, you got 88 Jordan. I got 91, 92 Jordan.
That's what I thought you was gonna pick to put in your seasons.
That's who that dude. That's the Neo from the Matrix. When you see everything slowing down and he's like dodging bullets, all slow, and he's just everything is just slowed down. That's who Jordan was that year. I got this thing figured out. You dudes are here. Y'all just in the way. Y'all really don't have nothing that y'all can do with us. Nothing whatsoever. That was my favorite of all the Jordans. 88, 89, I think that was his best work, but the 91, 92, that was my favorite Jordan. Absolutely.
Big time Chris. I like the Bears, man. You know, they just drafted Justin Fields. You see the little thing. I like the Bears. I'm just the Eagles fan. Eagles my number 1 team, Bears my number 2 team. That's all. Go ahead, Unc.
I got James in the 12-13 season. That's Jordan fast. That's Jordan fast forwarded 11 years where he was in the Matrix, where he just had it figured out, and it's really nothing that you dudes could do with me. And he was just incredible that year. That was my favorite version of James. I couldn't get enough of him. One of the things that I regret is this dude was down here for 4 years, and I only went to see him like 3 times. I don't know what I was thinking, my man. At the 4, I got 96, 97 Malone. Which is crazy because when you look at Jordan won the league MVP in 97, 98, Malone won it in 96, 97. It actually should have been flipped around. Jordan should have won it in 97, and Malone should have won it in 98.
Yeah.
But Malone in 97, he went 27 and 11. He was the league MVP. He was a all-league defender. I was looking at Malone. I just thought at that point, I was like, yo, this is the best 4-man ever right here. I ain't seen nobody this good. And I lived in Utah, just like you was in Chicago. I went to college in Utah, so I was there during those Stockton years when him and Stockton was rolling. I was there, so I saw them dudes. They were incredible. The problem that they had was that dude right there, number 23. That was the problem that they had. Other than that, I think that they could have definitely done it. So at the 5, like you said, I got a man crush on Roquan Smith. I can't tell you, man. Shaq, I can't say enough about Shaq, man. I get googly eyed when I talk about Shaq. Now, that 99-2000 season, he just was. We winning it this year, and none of y'all gonna do anything about it.
Nothing about
none
it.
None of y'all.
That's
we winning it this year. We are winning it this year.
That's why when people ask me if Jordan never retired, will we been able to beat that team? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough. Like if he would have played from 96 to 2003 with the Bulls, how many would we still have pulled off? That's a great question, though. 99, will we have beat, the Spurs? In 2000, will we have beat the Lakers? In 01, the Lakers? In 02, the Lakers? In 03, the Spurs? No. Jordan would have had a lot of losses on his finals record. We avoided that. Thank God.
Man, that's man for me. That 6-man for me would be the 87-88 Dominique Wilkins. Oh, I love Dominique, man. He went toe-to-toe with Bird in the Eastern Conference semifinals. You have, if anybody knows, or just like you, Beast, if you watch basketball, that Eastern took Bird and his boys to 7 games. Not only did he take them to 7 games, that 7th game in that 4th quarter, it wasn't the Celtics versus the Hawks. It was Bird against Neek.
Yeah.
Okay, Bird, what you got? Okay, Neek, what you got? All right, Bird, what you got? We went for 48 for the game. The Celtics was just too much, but it was Bird and Neek. I was a huge Dominique Wilkins fan. Oh, man, I love that dude.
I love that. I love every bit of that. That takes me back to when I used to be in high school, and I used to just sit up on the computer and just look up all of the old games. Just try to
Man.
watch all the old games and the hardwood classics and see what they can pull up. The older, the better. Like, I was in love with the direction the game was going, where it's at now, and where it was. See, I'm a big history guy when it comes to sports. To know where you're headed, you got to know where you've been. And in my opinion, if you don't know what happened prior to you, how the hell can you know what's going on in front of you? That's just,
Right.
that's just how I thought of it. So I was in love with watching the old games. Like, I went back and watched every single one of the Bulls final series, over again, and watched even Kobe's in the late 2000s, those runs, the Pau Gasol, just to get a feel, like to get that feeling again. Go back and watch. I'm thinking about going back and watching that Dirk 2011 run while I was talking about it. I want to go back and just look at the chip that he had on his shoulder and wonder what he was thinking during that time. Like, I like to put myself in those positions. Like, what was Shaq thinking when he was running through the whole league like that?
Well, you got to remember that 99-2000 season, Beast. 98-99, they had gotten swept out the playoffs by the Spurs. The year before that, in the 97-98 season, they had gotten swept out the playoffs by the Jazz. So the word was, Shaq, maybe you ain't that dude.
Right.
Maybe it's you and Kobe. This thing is not going to work. And Phil Jackson comes in, and Shaq goes, all right, I got to get myself in better shape. Not only do I have to get myself in better shape, I got to listen to this dude because he know what he's talking about.
Yep.
And he did that. And once they got the combination, which is what I always like to say, we got the formula.
Right.
And they had the formula. You don't pour it down the drain when you got the formula. And they had the formula in 99-2000. And I knew, you and I had this conversation. I knew after they won it in 99-2000, I was like, this team, they're going to be around for a while. So you better get used to seeing them.
Yep.
They're going to be around for a while.
I got that same feeling. When I saw them, I said, they're going to be around. Kobe's only going to get better. Shaq is dominant as dominant could be. They just need a couple of pieces to put around them to maintain some consistency. They're gonna be around for a while. They was the talk. They was the talk of high school when they was dominating like that. Because I was in high school around that time, and they was the talk of the town. But let's do some player comparisons, right? I'm gonna give you a player, and you tell me who this player reminds you of. Does his game favor somebody? Right? Real simple, real easy. Y'all guys in the chat can play along with us. Alvin Hayes, Tim Duncan. That's spicy. Did you see that?
That is spicy.
That's
very
spicy.
And I love Elvin Hayes. I don't like Elvin. I love Elvin Hayes, but he wasn't good as Tim Duncan. Nah.
Best defensive lineup. Something I had to think about. At the 1, give me GP. 2, give me Jordan. At the 3, give me Scotty. At the 4, give me KG. At the 5, give me Hakeem. 6 man. Pick whoever you want. But off the top of my head, that's the best two-way starting 5 I could think of quickly. But that's a great question, though. But player comparisons, though. I'm going to throw out a guy. You tell me who he reminds you of, even if it's not that long ago, right? Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell got a Darryl Griffin feel to me. That's who I remember him. He's that flash guy in transition. He had a real good mid-range game. Ridiculous athlete, will skip in the lane and punch it on you. He really ain't that big, just like Darryl Griffin, but he played way bigger than who he is. That's who he remind me of a lot.
He's D Wade to me. D Wade with a better 3-ball. I like the way they both like to attack the cup. I think Donovan Mitchell settles a little bit more than he should. But I like his swagger kind of reminds me of a Dwayne Wade. If he could settle less and shoot less threes, which is something he don't shoot at a high clip, but he shoots a whole hell of a lot of them. He takes a lot of bad shots. But if he could settle less and keep attacking the cup like he does and getting what he wants because he's good enough to do that, I think he's a image of Dwayne Wade. I see Dwayne Wade's game inside of this kid.
Okay, I can get with that.
Tubby, it's funny you mentioned Anthony Edwards because that's the next name on his list, Anthony Edwards.
It's crazy that you mentioned him, too, because I see a more athletic version of Mitch Richmond when I watch him. He just –
that's a good one.
He about 6'4", 6'5". His ability to skip in the lane, you not pushing him around. He's developing the long ball. He can score on anybody. Strong as an ox. That's who he looks like, a younger, more athletic version of Mitch Richmond to
I
me.
like that. I'm not mad at that. But I'm going to take it a step further. I see Vince Carter in him. The way he moves around the court, the way Vince Carter can pick his spots, attack the basket, plays above the rim, which is what Edwards likes to do. He's every other week he's catching a new body. You know, somebody's laying on the floor as a casualty to his assault. Like, I just love what I'm seeing from this young cat. And he reminds me of the matured version of Vince Carter, like the 2003 version of Vince Carter. You know, I think I could see that in Anthony Edwards. Trae Young, this should be obvious.
Yeah, he give me that Steph Curry vibe.
Definitely.
He tailored his game after Steph Curry. That's exactly what he did. And I'm gonna throw another name in there. He got some John Stockton in him too.
Stop.
I like that. Yeah, he
I ain't
got some
mad at that.
Stockton in him too. I like
His
that about him.
facilitation.
But he tailored his game after Curry though.
Is Elgin Baylor the best scorer to never win a scoring title? No. To me, that's Karl Malone. Believe it or not, Karl Malone never won a scoring title, and he has the second most points in NBA history. That's a great question, though. And if y'all didn't know that, I just educated you.
28 games for 11 straight seasons. So, absolutely.
But I would go Karl Malone. Scotty Barnes, the rookie.
You know, Scotty, I was watching him, and I've been watching him this season, and I watched a little bit of him at Florida State. He got a lot of he like a more athletic version of Alex English. How silky he is, and how he can get to the basket, and he will throw it on you like Alex English would, but sneaky.
Yeah.
But he looked like he a better athlete, and he got buckets written all over him. So once he started to figure
I like
the game
Scotty
out,
Barnes.
he got buckets written all over him.
Do. My boy, shout out to my man Nick Bean, man. He put me on Scotty Barnes. I like his game, but I think Alex English was more pure. He was a scorer. I think Scotty Barnes is more of a scrappy player, right? With a little bit of a back to the basket game. He's a do it all kind of guy. I don't think I can describe Scotty Barnes in a way to say, okay, this is what he do. Because Scotty Barnes could play defense. Scotty Barnes, you know, he'll shoot some threes on you. He could shoot a midi. He could back to the basket you. He could rebound the ball. He's scrappy. He could guard guards, and he can guard the post. Boris Diaw. That's what I think of when I think of Scotty Barnes. Boris Diaw. Boris Diaw was a guy that could do literally everything. He was just a basketball player. You know, he
didn't look like much neither. He didn't look like he could do anything. He looked like he was heavy. He looked like he was slow. But meanwhile, I can get with that logic. Sure.
He's just a guy that did everything on the court. He can rebound the ball. He can play defense on the perimeter and in the paint. He could shoot the long ball, shoot the mid-range, back to the basket. Boris wasn't the damn thing on this court Boris Diaw couldn't do. So that's my Scotty Barnes comparison. Last but not least, Demar Derozan.
DeMar got for me, it's a split between Kobe and Rip Hamilton. That's who he reminds me of. He got that mid-range where he gets into the teeth of the defense. The thing that I dug about DeMar DeRozan more than anything, that's why I compared him to Rip Hamilton. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't know how to do. And you're not going to make him do anything that he doesn't want to do. If I want to stick between 15 to 18 feet, that's where I live. Just like Rip Hamilton. I put the Kobe comparison in there because he will run down the gut and throw it on you.
Yeah.
He absolutely will run. He'll catch you in transition. He will catch you in the half court on your big man, and he will throw it right over the top of you. Yeah. So he reminds me of that. He reminds me of him in that aspect.
See, if we're talking about the younger DeMar, then I can get with that. But this older DeMar, you know, he's kind of playing underneath the rim, you know, triple D style nowadays. You know, but if I'm comparing today's game to anybody, it kind of be the way Paul Pierce gracefully developed. Both of these guys have so many similarities to me, which is probably why I like them both, right? The games are never rushed. Like you said, you're not going to force this man to do something he don't want to do. If he wants this 15-footer, he's going to get it. And that's the way Paul Pierce was. Truth was, I'm going to get to this elbow, and I'm going to shoot this shot, and you can't do a damn thing about it. That's just what I do. I live in this mid-range. I'm a mid-range assassin. That's what both of these guys, they was both mid-range assassins, step backs, all type of mid-range shots, and they just played at the pace of their own. They marched to the beat of their own drum. They played at their own pace. You couldn't rush these guys. You couldn't rattle these guys. They knew what shot they was going to take, and they took it, and then nobody can do about it. So if you asking me, I would compare DeMar DeRozan to Paul Pierce. But hey, I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun today. Let's get some questions from the fans going. We ain't gonna waste too much of y'all time. I had this. This was a great episode.
My man just said, is Luka going to be the best European player ever? Giannis got a lot to say about that, my man. Giannis gonna have something to say about that. And I feel Luka, but the way Giannis is looking, Giannis looks to me like he got another at least 6 more seasons at this level of what he doing. He got a lot to say about being the best European player ever, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that. Giannis got a lot to say with that. Embiid as well. All these overseas guys, it's a lot of them that you really don't even know.
Well, Embiid from Africa. He ain't from Europe. He from Nigeria.
That's why I say, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why I just say overseas in general. I put them all in the same boat. He did say Euro player, but to me, if you're not from America, you're not from Canada, I consider you an overseas player. So I like to put them all in the same bracket.
Well, the international player that we talking about, if we want to go international, you gotta Mount Everest to climb to get to Olajuwon to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite rap verse? I think we all. Oh, that's KB. You always trying to stir up some shit, K.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I don't even know my favorite rap verse, man.
Mine is Rakim. I take 7 MCs, put them in a line. That's 7 MCs right there. Add 7 more brothers who think they can rhyme. So go get 7 more.
Right.
But it'll take 7 more before I go for mine. Now that's 21 MCs ate up at the same time.
No doubt.
Man, stop playing, B. So these 7 that you got, go get 7 more.
Best
okay, them
2K.
7 that you got, go get more.
7 more. Real talk. Hey.
And this 7 right here that you got, nah, that ain't enough. Okay, now I'll do it.
That's right.
I'll serve all of these dudes.
Best
yes,
2K, probably 19 or 20. 15, 19 or 20. Flip a coin. I'm down with that. Most entertaining player in the NBA.
You've been talking about him we've been talking about him the whole episode.
Who? Steph?
Who else is it? I mean,
We've
been talking about him. We've been talking about him the whole episode.
Do you think Zion could become a bust? See, the question is, could become a bust. Do I think he could become a bust? Of course he could become a bust if he don't manage his weight. Will he become a bust? I don't think so. I think he'll figure it out and get it together. I think Zion may need to be put in a situation where he feel more happy and more. I think that'll make him more willing to do what he's supposed to do. Right now, they don't have any role models. They don't have any old veterans on that team that could teach him the way. So he need to go somewhere to where, somebody will teach it. Barkley him. Moses Malone or Charles Barkley. He need that.
Let me ask you this, Beast. A guy like Zion, would you be comfortable if you could get what he did last year, 26-7, shooting 60%? How would you feel about getting 5 or 6 years of that?
I feel great about it.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
He's not a bust. If I get 5 or 6, if I get 6 years of 27-6, shooting 50+ from the field, he ain't no bust.
You good with that? Okay.
How many guys can say in their prime they averaged 26-6? Zion actually averaged 27 last year. How many guys, Hall of Famers, can say they averaged 27-6 for 6 consecutive seasons? How many?
Not many.
That's what I'm saying. So I'll take that, and I wouldn't call him a bust. Let's say, before that and after that, he averaged 10, or let's say he got hurt or whatever the case, because that could be the only reason why I see Zion being a bust is if he was to get hurt. So, OG, can we settle this debate? Kobe is better than Wilt?
This dude comes in my live too with that. He's the same dude that comes into my live with that. Yeah, he comes into my live with that too. So can we dead this already? Kobe Bryant, as awesome as he was, and he was incredible. I will not fight that. But every major record in NBA history is attached to Wilt Chamberlain. Who averaged the most points in NBA history? It's Jordan. He broke Wilt's record. Who averaged the most rebounds in NBA history? Wilt. Who has the most rebounds in a single game? Wilt. And don't tell me that, who he was playing against. Because if you're going to disregard If you're gonna disregard who Wilt was playing against, that means you got to get rid of the '60s. You got to get rid of all of those championships. You got to, because Wilt was kicking everybody's ass that Jerry West was kicking, that Oscar Robertson was kicking, that Hal Greer was kicking. Wilt was kicking all of their asses. Just so you know. So if you want to discount who Wilt was playing against, you got to erase the entire decade of the '60s. So let's dead that.
There it is. There it is. Personally, I think Kobe was better. You know, that's just me. I have Kobe in my top 5. I have to lean on that. Unc has Wilt in his top 5. He has to lean on that. But, you know, I got Wilt in my top 10 in the back. Actually, he's 10. You know, just outside. Kevin Durant is tapping him on his shoulder lightly, and it's getting harder by the year. So, I don't know. You know, Wilt does have all those records, and he completely dominated the game, no question about it. But it's just the game has changed so much from then. It's evolutionized so much from then. And would Wilt have that same type of production if given the opportunity to in this era? I highly doubt it, because it was only 10 teams back then. You only needed 3 games to get a championship trophy back then. You know, it's a bunch of things that weigh into that. Bill Russell as well. You know, so that's neither here nor there. We can go all. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, it is.
Unc went in. Yeah, he definitely did. Steve Nash over John Stockton. All time? Nah. He wouldn't dominate like that. No, I don't think Wilt would dominate like that, but I think Wilt is a 25-plus scorer in today's game. 25 and 10-plus in today's game easily. How do you think Hakeem would have done if he was up in Shaq's environment? He was. Hakeem was drafted in 87. Shaq was drafted in 92. They came up together.
Hakeem came in 84 and
not 84. I'm sorry, 84 with Jordan.
You good. He came in 84, but Shaq was still awesome when Hakeem was around. So it wasn't like Shaq didn't get awesome until like year 8 or 9. No, Shaq was awesome.
Right.
So
Hakeem was in the middle. Hakeem was, in his early 20s. Shaq was dominating. So it's we're not gonna sit here and act like they was 2 different eras. They came up pretty much in the same era.
Yep.
5 years apart from each other. One more question, and we're going to get out of here. Best diss song of all time, Ether, to me. What you think,
what's that? What's Pac's song?
Hit 'em up. I was going to say, who shot you? Damn. Yeah, Hit 'em up was.
Hit 'em up. First, the song starts with, first off, F your click in the set. He starts the song like that. You claim to be a player, but I'll bust your wife. Like, whoa, man, that's taking the headphones off, and that was fighting words right there. You kidding me? Huh?
It was definitely fighting words, no doubt about it.
Those fighting words
Pac
right
is
there.
my
We ain't
man,
even in a rap battle, and I'm not a Pac dude, but we in a rap battle. We ain't even in a rap battle no more.
So what you trying to say, Unc? Big better than Pac?
Oh, I always felt like that. Big better than Pac. No doubt about it. Yeah, Big is better than Pac. Yes, sir.
Give me Pac all day long. I need my man Pac all day long. But anyway, man, we enjoyed y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in to the Sports Behavior Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, OG the Beast. That's Chilltown 32. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate your company. We got regulars over there. If you're following us, please follow us on YouTube. This episode will be up on YouTube if you can't catch it here on Twitch live 2 times a week. Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. Central Time. Join us. We love every single one of y'all. Unc, take us home.
Until then, take it light. We'll take it.
We out.